the ghosts of Garden Street. It's not only the mills that have disappeared in Hebden Bridge over the last century, for the town now boasts a number of ghost streets. And there was one where Jules Pottery now stands, just at the edge of Commercial Street. Garden Street once ran parallel to Commercial Street and below, but for the last 50 years has been a public car park. There were shops which could be accessed from Commercial Street above, but these too were demolished in the 1960s. Back in 1911, Jane McDermott, a single parent, lived at number 10 Commercial Street with her 9 children. And like many women in her position, she ran a business from home. Not that sort of business, a legal one, sort of. She was an unregistered seamstress, a tailor, a sewer, and there were a few of them about. Another that I know of at 10 Sackville Street, home of the Utley family, and they ran their business from the attic bedroom which ran along the whole row. Anyway, back to Jane. She worked along with her 5 eldest daughters, and as if she wasn't already doing enough as sole breadwinner and single parent to make ends meet, she also took in lodgers. For in 1911, a number of travelling actors are registered as living with her. Those who couldn't also be boarded with the rest of the troupe at number 19 Garden Street. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Hebden's always had that bohemian edge. Directly below Jane McDermott, at number 23 Garden Street, lived Harry and Kate Thompson, again with their 9 children. Something in the number 9. Harry was an iron dresser, and Kate a full-time housewife, exhausting enough by our standards, but compared to Jane McDermott above, she was truly blessed. In 1911, their eldest son, Thomas, is registered as being a fustian presser, though I've learned he was also an avid rugby player and a champion bantamweight boxer. Unfortunately, like so many others, he was called up in 1914 to join the Duke of Wellington's regiment, and he never came home. He's buried in St. Server Cemetery, France. Though curiously, Thomas never was, and still isn't, yet commemorated on any of the Hebden Bridge war memorials. One can only suppose that at some point Thomas made an attempt of desertion, and so, like the other 305 British soldiers who found themselves unable to cope with all the carnage they'd witnessed at war, was shot at dawn, rejected by his own military. After the war, and even during, the Thompson family continued to be supported by their daughters. For back in 1911, their eldest daughter, Elsie, is registered as being a part-time sewer-ticker-on. I love that phrase. Though she was only 12, she worked at the Thomas Sutcliffe Trouser Factory on Regent Street. It seems child labour was quite common in Hebden Bridge back at the turn of the 20th century, though it wasn't usual for children to go to work full-time until they were 14. At least at the Thomas Sutcliffe factory, all children were given a thorough medical examination before they started work. And Dr. G. Lawson of Home House, New Road, saw to that, though whether he made it round to other factories remains to be seen. He was assisted by a senior nurse, Harriet Moore, of number 10 New Road, and she took in lodgers who were also nurses, though they would have been hard-pressed to make it round to over 50 factories, all, if not most, who employed children. they certainly didn't make it up as far as that dreaded acre mill in Old Town. For some of those poor 40 orphans who I spoke of earlier are now commemorated in Wainsgate Chapel churchyard, having all died very young indeed.